we wanted to use that platform to reach a wider audience to say, hey, this is what King Homes can do.
Veronica keeps me very level-headed.
You got to be emotionally aware of one another, and I think that just takes time. There was a time where we had 30 of our own clients who started their Instagram pages to document their own build. It's sort of like a walking review for your business, a daily, constant, live review for your business.
Welcome back to another episode of Made to Build, powered by the HIA. I'm here again with my favourite co-host, Richard. Hello again.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Excellent. Excellent. Who have we got on today?
So today's guests, we've got Mark and Veronica King from King Homes. Now, Mark and Veronica, you've gone through a journey where you've built a business together. Welcome to the show, Made to Build.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so tell me, how long have you been working together for, and how did it all start?
You can go.
Oh, I think if we wind back the clock, it was probably about 10 years ago that Mark decided to leave his very comfortable, successful career in plumbing and get his builder's license and start his own building company. So I reckon that was about 10-ish years ago. So you've probably been operating as a home builder on your own for almost 10 years, 9 years now?
Yeah. So in my early 20s, renovated properties and built a duplex at 23 with my brother. And then kept doing that whilst plumbing. And, I think it was about 10 years ago, decided to start building for customers.
Okay. So is that all through like an owner-builder scenario?
My brother had a license to build.
Yep.
So he was the license builder at first. And then, I got my license, had to do the time to do it. And I'd have owner built, yes, in the past a few times. But yeah.
What made you want to start your building company and then go get your license?
I like being self-sufficient, so having everything at my fingertips is easier than being reliant upon others.
Yeah.
That was the key, I think, and that's how it's always been now.
Because your business is blown up now out of proportion for a lot of smaller builders. Can you walk us through that journey of how you started from getting your license to now having built over 500 homes?
I think in the beginning, it's always hard in any business. And I think there's a lot, you can't just start a building company and then build 500 homes, 10 years later. I think that's, there's only a small pool of builders that could be able to do that. I think a bit of luck, timing in the market definitely played its toll on it. And as well, everything that the building business makes goes back into the building business, Previous to starting the building business, I had enough assets that already accumulated by the time I was about 29 years old, that I was able then to, live off them and then essentially put everything back into the business.
Now you've both struck success in your own right. So, Veronica, I understand that you're heavily involved in socials with something called the Builder's Wife. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So when Mark started his business, I had a completely different day job. Like my background's in HR and industrial relations, so completely different field. So at the start, I found myself helping him in sort of creative ways that I felt comfortable in doing. I mean, as a partner of a builder going out on their own, I think it's very easy to sort of fall in the trap to say, oh, I'll help him with invoicing or admin or do bits and pieces. But I knew that was not my strong point. I really liked being creative. So social media was, I guess when we think back 9 years ago, we were using it here and there for building. But I think initially our social media strategy was like, just post every day and keep the posts coming and keep the content going and to show people what we're doing. And out of that, as the business grew, and Mark had the capability of being more than just a project home builder and moving more into that sort of custom home building space, I thought this timing is really good. And I started an Instagram account called The Builder's Wife. Yep. And it was at the time that we were building our family home together. And that was really showcasing, okay, we're a project home builder, but we are building a project home with a lot of custom home elements. So what better way than to showcase this directly through my own Instagram to document the process. And I was coming from a way to say, look, I'm not a builder. I'm married to a builder, so I've been around building sites long enough and kind of understand that. But that's not necessarily my background. So here is how I have navigated this home build. Here are my recommendations. Here's how we've saved costs. Here's how I've made things look more aesthetic. And because a lot of people were building with, have chosen project home builders, but not really understanding, well, how do I elevate my home? How do I take it to that sort
How
of
do I
next
go beyond
that
cookie
next
cutter?
level?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
we work with household names and suppliers. So it was easy enough for me to show, well, hey, we use all these household names to build our homes. But here's how we elevated things. Here's, the difference of choosing materials and how that affects your budget, and how we can just, bring that custom home element. So that's how the Builder's Wife kicked off. It was just documenting our home build. And I think it's become a sort of learning resource for people online when they're looking for inspiration for their home build or their renovation. And so my followers on the account, it's crazy when I look at it. I still can't believe that many people are interested in what I have to say. But it went from a few thousand to now I think it's over 60,000, maybe
Awesome.
65 something thousand. I need to double check. But yeah, so I connect with people and I think I'm a genuine sort of learning resource in that building and renovation space. I like to share the projects that we're building in terms of the things that I am directly involved in. So either our own home builds or display homes that I'm working on. I like to sort of showcase, okay, here's a floor plan for our latest project and these are the 3 variations and this is what we changed to save money or to make the flow better, to introduce a mud room, a drop zone, or that kind of sort of content. So I think we just share a lot of different information and about building and renovating and also the things that we're working on.
And who typically follows the Builder's Wife?
I have an audience of 80-something, I think it's 83% female audience, Australia based.
Yeah.
And if you have built a home with your partner, you would know that if your partner was female, she probably would have the Pinterest boards and all of that set up, really directing the look and feel of your home build. So that's a lot of females follow me. I do obviously have a male audience who are interested in the things that I post as well, but yeah, predominantly female.
Okay.
Going through your Instagram, you see there's kind of an evolution from when you first started posting to where you're at now.
Yes.
Was there a development in the psychology of how you actually format your videos?
I think so. So at the end of the day, we did start the account to showcase our business, and in a way it is a marketing tool. We wanted to use that platform to reach a wider audience to say, hey, this is what King Homes can do. These are the things that we're interested in. This is our style. This is our aesthetics. So definitely the type of, I'm not really working with suppliers in terms of being like an influencer. It's more to showcase different building practices, different building techniques. So I think it was more just to continue to focus on that sort of custom home build and to showcase that.
Sometimes, like if in the in King Homes office, we'll hear like a customer wants something in their home, but it's got a big cost to it. So there's always 2 ways to do something. So one cost was like doing a full walk-in pantry and having all that extra cost of the joinery in the pantry, where you can deck out your pantry into cupboards and put your microwave and everything in that. And that's a story that I keep thinking about. And I was like, we had these issues in the office of like how to do things differently, and then I was able to get that to the audience through Veronica to say, look, you don't need to spend all your money on the best of everything to achieve a beautiful home. And that was the big thing on documenting our house was like, we don't have the most expensive floors, but we've got a very good product of floors,
Yes.
Which is a standard floor.
And I think as land prices continue to grow, people's build budgets were really getting tightened. But your style and your taste doesn't change. It's just that your budget has changed. So yeah, to that point, yeah, you would hear clients say, well, I want this or I want that. And I guess we did use my platform to say, okay, if my budget is X and I want to achieve this particular look, perhaps you can do it in this way and use these type of products, or, prioritize certain tasks for after handover. Your builder doesn't have to do everything in the build. So yeah, we would hear a lot of the pain points that come from clients, and then use that on my platform as well. Like in terms of a marketing point of view, you're thinking about how do I get my brand out to people, and you think about, your radio advertisement or other different channels. And this was just, I don't want to say the Builder's Wife was just a marketing channel, but it was my way to show people in the areas that we're looking to build in what we do. And from my perspective, from a personal perspective.
It's really interesting. A lot of the research that I've done in my own business is actually around the way builders can grow trust with clients because, let's face it, a client will never sign up with a builder if they don't trust them.
Yep.
And so without going into that in too much detail, but it sounds to me like the builder's wife is sort of giving people a bit of a behind-the-scenes look about what happens in a building business. So it's almost a bit of a candid perspective that probably not many builders offer.
No, and I think so as well. And I think around the time I started, you know, I wasn't showing Mark that much, although I was showing like our brand and our homes that we were building. It was more coming from my perspective, which I think people really resonated with, to hear like, okay, well, she's not an actual builder, but she's choosing these materials, or she's made these adjustments to the floor plan because of her family and her children, or the way she likes to live in her home. And I like that too, and I resonate with that. But there was also, the trend was starting to document your own home build. And I remember in and around that time, a few years later, probably 3-4 years after I'd started Builder's Wife, there was a time where we had 30 of our own clients who started their Instagram pages to document their own build. And that was a real thing at the time. It still is, I remember we had 30 clients, and you would always be checking different pages about, oh, what are they posting? What's going on in their home build? And it's sort of like a walking review for your business, a daily, constant live review for your business. And I think that kind of kicked off a few years after I started Builder's Wife, which was really great to see. And I know a lot of different other builders have their clients documenting their builds, and it's a way that they're reviewing and giving you a personal insight on their experience with that builder.
Can I also say, Veronica's, she would also, you know, be Switzerland, let's say. You know, people would come to her and ask her a question about the builder they've chosen, no matter Sydney, Victoria, wherever they're building. And some of the questions would be, you know, could be in the negative, you know, like, oh, this has gone wrong. What do I do?
Yeah.
And Veronica would go, oh, I don't know, you know.
Or sometimes if it was technical, I'd be like, what do you think about this? And I know my thoughts, but...
And I'd give my perspective, you know, and be like, look, work with the builder.
Yeah.
You know, or do this. Or if something's like, you don't know what's gone wrong, you know.
You've chosen the builder for a reason,
Exactly.
so try and get back there. And if you saw the amount of messages that I get a day, it's a lot of messages, and often it's advice for, hey, I'm planning my new home build or renovation and I'm thinking of this layout. What do you think? Or what's your experience with this particular product? Have you used a particular supplier? Who's your trade for this? Or often it is, I am having an issue with my builder or a trade. This is what's happened. What do you think? And a lot of the time people can feel very like emotional when they're in that situation, which I totally get, because you're spending a lot of time and money on a builder. And if things don't go wrong, it's natural to feel emotional. But I think I do offer a perspective to say, well, also see it from the builder's point of view, that if you weren't, say, specific in your choice of selection, or if you've changed your mind on things and now that something's installed, something else doesn't work, well, you need to see it from your builder's perspective as well. So I think I did offer that sort of voice of reason. And I share things on my stories like all the time to say, you know, someone messaged me with this query or issue that they're experiencing. This is what I thought. What do you guys think? And that's the way that I engage with my audience.
Because
as
the
well.
diplomat.
Yeah, because
which
you
is,
don't see it from the builder's perspective.
Yeah.
It's very easy for people to go online and sort of put down what their builder has done, but you've got to see the full picture of things. I mean, Mark once said to me that you had heard, and it always sticks with me as well, is that when you're building a home is man-made. It's made by humans. You have hundreds of people coming into your home to build this thing. Like, it's not made by a machine. Things could go wrong or...
it's a collection of thousands and thousands of tasks and ideas.
Suppliers, different hands, different tools. And if one thing changes during your build, it has like a ripple effect, and that's what people need to keep in mind as well. And I think I use my... and I do share when things don't go the way I think as well. So I share that real perspective to say, this is what we had planned, but this is what's happened. I mean, the other day I shared a video that we're building a home at the moment, and Mark came in and part of the home was flooded and there was no rain. And we had a rat who came in the middle of the night and chewed a pipe. And we were just in the process of laying our floorboards down. And so I shared that perspective. These things happen. Who can you blame? It's very stressful and emotional, and it can cause delays and can cost money, but that's sometimes building a home.
No matter what you try and do, you know, as a builder, you always try and, you know, have everything work right, and then you get a curveball. You know, the floors only went down 2 days earlier.
Yeah,
and
the
it-
timing was
That rat
perfect.
I felt
had
bad.
impeccable timing.
The flooring
Very-
guy told me about it, and I felt bad for him because, you know, like, he helped me pull them up, and he did put them back down. Good product, that one, because I was able to dry out, which was good.
Something I was really keen to ask you guys was you advertise as doing like bulk amount of homes,
Mhm.
but they're all custom. And typically when people hear custom home, they go, no way, can't afford that. How do you guys manage to do that?
If you've got an idea, if we can draw it or it's drawn correctly, you know, we can build it. Like when we're drawing a home with our in-house drafting team, we want to make sure that the product can be built.
Yes.
Like
So you have
from
a
the
full-time draftsman team
Yeah,
within
yeah.
house.
So we make sure that it is drawn a way that it can be built, and then that's where I work with them to make sure it can be done, because, you know, everyone's got an idea and happy
Yeah.
to go outside the box. And
So you're
and
already
look at
saving
it.
money there by having the architect or draftsperson
Well,
in-house.
if your plan's wrong in the beginning,
Yeah.
the end of the job, it's going to have issues, and issues cost builders money. So it's like, if your plan's right and everything's good from the get-go, you'll have a better project all the way through. If your plans are wrong from the get-go, you know, as soon as you got your frames or your steel coming, you're going to have the issues, all the windows.
It sounds like you guys have gone through a real transition from you know what we'll call a steady volume builder to somebody who's doing a far more customised build. With the skills that you both bring to the table, has that been a product of that?
I think, yeah, definitely. After building our house, it definitely opened our eyes a bit more to do a bit more of these customs. We were doing a couple, you know, like let's say 15 a year, you know, or 10 a year. And then we're able to increase our volume base to build more custom homes in per year. We still do build a lot of standard design homes. We still sell a lot of standard design homes, but our customers are able to modify that standard design to their own, to how they like it. And then they can pick a crazy facade, and we can work with that as well.
I think it's your openness, though, to be creative. Like, we are very much, both of us are very interested in always looking at like real estate and different ways people have built homes or different materials. Like, that's like a genuine interest of us. So I think when a client comes to you and says, well, you've got this home design, can I do this, can I do that? I think you're very open and actually genuinely interested to say, well, this is your block. Yeah, we should change this here, should change that. And you've built your business around that. And that's why, you know, you've got the in-house design team to help with that. We've got an interior design studio to support all of that creativity that clients come in the door and say, well, I just don't want this design that you're advertising. I want this, but I want to change it in so many ways.
Everyone wants their own.
And
home.
we work with that. But I think it's your creativeness a little bit as
Yeah,
well.
I do
we
enjoy
love
it, but
homes and building and
the team, you know, at King Homes also like it too.
Yep.
Like it's like I've got a good team in that.
People are on
sense.
board.
Yeah. We all work together to achieve the same, you know, outcome.
Can we run through that, like your team structure?
Yeah. So we have a general manager, Leanne.
Yep.
She's been with us 7 years.
yeah, she's your right hand person.
Yeah.
I think you would be very lost.
Yeah,
Very
definitely.
lost.
She's awesome.
Just so can you just describe Leanne's skill set?
Oh, she's gonna love this. Leanne is great. She cares
She's got an accounting background, which I think is
definitely
very important.
helped with all
the
the
financials, that's build or break for a lot of builders. If
Yeah,
you don't have a
definitely,
strong
yeah.
financial skill set in your business, and she brings that for you.
She does, and she takes that. She makes it a bit easier, you know, because I know I've got someone there that I trust to be able to navigate. You know, you got a lot of outgoings and incomings, making sure it all works out, and you know, at the end of the day, helps the business every way possible. So Leanne is
So the guiding hand, if you like.
yeah. Well, she's the general manager, and she's great. She's really good.
Okay, and who are the other people?
Got Mikey. He's our construction manager. He's been with me, you know, when I was building houses on the side, being a plumber. That's how I met him.
Yep.
And again, we've got a extremely good friendship, and he has just made these homes come true for these customers as well. He's helps all the supervisors, any issues they have on site. He just does everything and anything.
So he's the overarching kind of supervisor?
Yeah, he's the
say?
construction manager. He's he's
Okay.
What he says goes.
And then we have, teams that work within that. So the construction team, we have our own maintenance team, we have a full-time interior designer, and you've got your
We've got an admin
design and
teams.
drafting team, your admin team that manage pre-construction and everything else, and then the sales.
Sales
So we're
team.
at our display homes.
So it really sounds like you guys have been on a really interesting journey, because you've got an organisation that relies on many moving parts and many people in the way that you actually deliver that. So how did you come about to grow a team like that?
Early on, when you start getting busier, you can't do everything yourself. So you got to employ people and to help you, and they got to have the skill set to be able to help you, firstly, and secondly, they're also got to be on the same page as you. And in any business, there's always times you don't see eye to eye or whatever. However, as a business owner, you also got to listen to your staff and make sure what I would think is right may not be right, and you got to work together. Everyone's got the same goal in the end. So building the team, it's tough. It's like, you got to start somewhere and put some structure in, put processes and policies together, and we've had to create everything from scratch.
Yeah, okay. So, because I think one of the things that would, a lot of builders that are listening to this, and builders' wives that are listening to this, there will often be, there'll be a commonality in the value sets that they have. Often if they're partners in life, they'll have common values, whereas there might be different ways of doing things in the business. So in other words, when it comes to values, it might be that, whether a client deserves a refund or something, you're probably both more likely to be on the same page with that kind of thing. Whereas if it's something else that's of a different nature, there might be some significant differences in the way that you'd approach it. So do you have that sort of thing pop up very often?
I don't have that with Veronica.
No, what saves us is, and I touched on it before about, when your partner goes out in business as the other partner, you want to try and be as supportive as you can. And I think with our dynamic, what has worked really well is that Mark's office is his domain and I work from our home office, and everything that I do for the business can be done from home. Like there is often times that I will come into the office to work with the interior designer or things like that, but I think it's that separation. And I know in terms of sales and client management and all of that, that is your domain. And then when we talk about like social media or the direction of some of our website content or advertising, I sort of take the lead on that. So I think it's that clear domain, and we don't often work comes home with you in terms of we like to talk about things that have happened or things that we're working on. But I think it's just that respect to say, well, I know you're going to manage that sort of thing and I don't need to be involved in that. And then I know what I'm managing and so forth.
Good fences make for good neighbours.
Yes, that's right. That's a good way to put it.
I think as well, it's I don't really take work home. So like if I do, generally, if I'm a bit stressed out or whatever, I don't really get stressed that much.
Conversations to say, what are we doing here? How are we going to, like for display homes as an example, that's something that I'm involved in. So we talk about, okay, what about for this display home? Should we change the floor plan? How are we going to do this?
But most day to day, like overall, we don't really bring work home too much. Only, kind of.
And it's hard to get a word in our house, as well. I was about to say, it's until everyone's in bed, it's hard to even have a conversation sometimes.
But you need to switch off.
Yeah.
If you don't switch off, and get your time, with your wife or partner, you're never gonna. It's not all about work.
How have you found managing that with 3 kids? Obviously, a massive business. Have you balanced all of that?
You just learn and grow with it as it comes. Like it's, there's no right or wrong with anything. There's no right or wrong with the business, like, and how to do things. There's no right or wrong with parenting. It's just like, you've got, you just want to be present with them as much as possible. As hard as it is nowadays with all, distractions around us. But, I just want to be a good dad. That's all, to be honest.
Has that developed as your company's developed with it?
What has it been, a dad?
No, I think you've prioritised more like taking time out. I think last year was the first time I could remember ever since you've started your business that you have had a break from work during the working year. So your break as a builder generally is Christmas shutdown and the Christmas New Year period. But last year was the first year in 9 years that we've actually gone on a family holiday in May and June, which we hadn't done. And even when we've had our children, I mean, Mark was back to work next day kind of thing. So that was the last.
So was that a
first year I can
perspective
recall.
thing, or you'd got in the business to a stage where you could do that?
I'd love working.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably both. And I think the team had grown.
I also got up super early every morning and did my walk and made my phone calls, which I really enjoyed,
Yes,
and I've
yeah.
maintained doing that
managing
since.
the time
Yeah.
zones.
But yeah, look, as I said, like with the team behind me, it's taken a few years to be able to have that break.
And you were more involved in sales at the time. Like if I recall back to say almost 6 years ago when we had our twins, you were back to work straight away, and the Christmas shutdown was very busy for you because you were still involved in sales. Mark was working in the display home. He was still that sort of client-facing interaction when people walk through the door, whereas your roles probably evolved over the last 6 years that, you know, you'll go to a display home, but you're not necessarily taking all the meetings like you used to.
Yeah, I think it's just with growth, and you just got to grow with your business and grow with what's around you. My time's spent, like my time management is key, like trying to work out what's best to do that day or that week.
How do you plan that in advance?
He doesn't. It's wherever the wind takes him some days,
Look,
wherever the phone call
I
takes him.
have on my calendar, I write like what I want to achieve that week, you know, on my Outlook calendar. I have a few things I want to achieve. I have a note in front of my desk of written down that I don't achieve, and I need to at one stage.
Yeah.
I know what's written on it right now. I looked at it today. But look, I have like some common goals to achieve, and I try and achieve them. I think for me now, I try and like book time in to do stuff. You know, if you're being reactive to every situation, you're just going to get pulled left, right, up and down. So
Yeah, you got to prioritize.
got to kind of evolve, and my evolution is to try and just pencil time in, and then at that time of like today, you know, pencil time in today. You've got me. It's all about that.
Whatever else comes can wait.
Well, yeah, like so yeah, definitely. Like an hour out of my day here is fine. Like it's all good. Taking a month off work was very very stressful. I
different.
tell you.
We've gone against the grain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love our 3-4 day, you know, long weekends. That's fine, you know.
Yep.
What can go wrong on a Friday can be fixed on a Monday or Tuesday. But when you're away for a month, it was very hard.
Yeah, you've got to place that trust in others to manage things that pop up.
Yeah, and the team did great, which is good.
Being that you're from the trade, was it hard to let go of like the plumbing side and actually being on site every day, checking on people?
I have a ute full of tools out there, and I use all of them. Like I actually enjoy being on the tools. It's actually it's fun. Actually, it's just different. You know, if you're on it every day, you kind of you dream about behind a computer. If you're behind a computer and on a phone all day, jumping on the tools and utilizing your skill set's good. I actually do enjoy it.
You like problem solving, and often in the mornings I'll say, Mark, you should probably put a nicer shirt on today. And you're like, no, I'm jumping on the tools today. But I hear that every single day. Oh, no, I'll be on the tools today. And I think it's if there's sort of like a problem and not like a problem, but something that's a little bit more challenging. Like I think you're on the tools because you had this massive round skylight go in at one of the display homes. So you just wanted, I think the perfectionist in you is like, I just want to make sure that's done. I want to see how it's done. And if I need to jump on the tools to make sure it's done, you will. And I think you'll do that in almost every kind of scenario that might pop up. If someone calls you to say, hey, what do you think about this? You're like, I'll come out to site, and you end up on the tools somehow.
Yeah, and you know what? Like as a leader in a business, you know, when I was a plumber, it'd always be who's the one gonna get ankle deep or knee deep in what you got to do. I was always first in. Like you just got to be that person. You got to show. Doesn't matter who you are. You always got to do the hard yards. You always got to
Lead by example.
Yeah, lead by example. I can do it. Next time you can do it. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, there's nothing nothing too hard in this world.
Can I ask you both a question and separately,
Mm-hmm.
and that is, if you think about, is there anything that you know now that you wish you had have known before you got into business together? And that's a question for each of you to answer, if that's okay.
If the amount of like homes that you have delivered, I think you always have to focus on like the positives. Like challenges will always arise, and I think when you're starting out, and if your challenges like come up, you start thinking, oh, this is going to ruin this, or you might make things better. But once you put into perspective, looking back now, how many homes you've built, and how many happy people have had their home built by you. That's what I think. I think perspective is really good. Standing from this angle to think about everything that you've delivered, and problems at the time may have seemed bigger than what they are, but in the grand scheme of things, when you look at it, like you've done very well, I think. I don't know.
You don't know what's around the corner unless you get there. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of like, and you know what, like when doors opened for me, you know, I didn't know where those doors were going to lead to, you know? So I think with anything in business or just in anything in life in general, just, you know, have a go, you know, if that's what you want to do. If you want to not have a go and don't start a business, that's all good too, you know?
Would you say you regret not starting sooner?
No. I think everything has a. As I said, I built my first duplex at 23 for my brother, right? And before that, I bought a house and did a reno at 20. At 20, I had no money. I couldn't afford a tiler, so I had to tile a bathroom myself. Never done that before. It lasted 15 years, and then I had to redo it a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. But I think if I started the business younger, I don't think it would have been successful, because, you know, you learn so much when you get a little bit older as well. And then as well, like when I was younger, I invested into, you know, myself, you know, with investment properties and this and that when I could get them, and do what I had to, like, and build homes and keep them or sell them, whatever I was doing. But if I started a building business like at that age, I don't think it would have turned out to where it was. I think it was just timing, luck, everything.
Well, the financial part of it, I think I would have to agree that played a big part, because, as an example, home warranty insurance dictates your success and your growth so much. And without that financial backing and financial position, you are very limited in your growth as a builder, and it's a lot of stress to manage. So, yeah, I think you kind of started at the right time to be able to get that home warranty insurance to support your growth.
Well, my mum always said, she goes, why are you doing this? Like, why are you building? And I said, like, oh, well, you know, I'll give it a go. And what's the worst that can happen? You know, I actually said I could lose a house. But like, that was really it, because, you know, and then I grew with my client base. I grew the business organically, which has been great. I think trying to, if you were to jump into a business, you know, from 1 year in and build, you know, 30 homes, you know, 1 year in, like, you're going to struggle a lot. I think you just got to grow, and you'll see, you know, with how we were 9 years ago and what we used to turn over to what we turn over now, it's just grown.
So what did your first year look like when you started building?
My first year, it was, I think it was like 5 or 6 houses, you know.
Yeah.
You had a small office that you were renting in Ingleburn, and I remember going to IKEA, and we bought all the furniture for the office to make it look nice, and you had a little set up for like a tiny little selection studio where we had a little kitchen set up that people could choose cabinetry, remember that, and little
And I had
bathroom set up
myself, Mikey, the construction manager, and my cousin Jack.
as a supervisor. And
You know, and the first, I think it was year and a half or 2 years, I didn't pay myself anything.
All into the business.
Everything, no wage, because I had staff, I had to pay them, and that was my priority. You know, they had Mikey just got married, starting a family. Jack, had to pay him. He's my cousin, so can't
So were you
Can't
running at
really-
a loss or just keeping your head just above water?
No, me, I had the rental, so I was happy in that sense to be able to survive.
Yeah.
No, it was just because you got to prioritize your staff first.
Yeah.
If,
So
if-
look after your staff, and now they've
Yeah.
in turn looked after you.
yeah, like that's a yeah. So I had to pay them. I can't just pay myself a lot of monies and have
Yeah.
nothing left.
Yeah.
But like I did feel in the beginning, the first like I had 6 homes going. I was like, wow, I had 3 on one street. I was in Denham Court, and I thought I thought I was king that day. You know what I mean?
No, that
it just felt good. It felt good because I had,
You saw your
you
signs
know, 6
up.
houses going at once.
Yeah.
You know, it felt awesome.
Would have been a proud moment.
Yeah,
was a- I-
you
I
feel
remember
really
the
like a
moment
volume builder
as-
now.
It was awesome.
But I think also with the putting the money back in the business, like starting a building company from scratch, like that, there was no company one day and now you're operating. There was a lot of money you had to invest in systems as well, like to make things easier, like estimating systems, takeoffs and all of that. Managing financial, like that's a lot of money and investment, especially to set up a system into a business from scratch and bring all of that in. That was a lot of time
And I
effort.
think it's hard because with the systems in a building business, it's every day we have staff members working on it, and that data just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But like it takes time to build that up, and it costs a fortune.
Yeah.
And what about for people who are listening to this, in terms of when you have couples working in a business together, what sort of advice would you give to those who are listening about the ways that you work with one another and maintain that successful footing?
Well, I think on my end, Veronica keeps me very level-headed. Like, to be honest, she does. Like, she knows when I'm stressed out or got other things on my mind. She'll be saying I'm talking to a. What do you say? You're talking to?
Oh, you don't talk much.
I
you
just don't talk to. I
"Mhm,
grunt.
That's our conversation in the evening, and I keep talking.
But having someone supportive behind me at home has made everything easier and better. And it's been good.
I
You
think
got to be you got to be supportive with the goods and the bads.
You got to be emotionally aware of one another, and I think that just takes time. But also, I have to look at it from my perspective as well. That I had, a career that I was pursuing. That at a point in time, I said, you know what, I'm going to leave that and support Mark in the best way I can. And that's because we had a young family with 3 children, and that creative part that I was bringing to the business, I got more fulfillment from.
That's good.
And it gave us the flexibility. I remember when it became really unmanageable at a point in time where, one of the kids was sick, and I know that you couldn't just stay home and I'm the one, not going to work, and there's always something really big happening that day. So I think as a partner, it's good to keep your day job for as long as possible, financially speaking, but
Yep.
at a point in time, something has to give, and you need to be emotionally aware to
So that trigger point where you actually transitioned from
Yeah.
your own career to to working in the business. What
Yeah.
was tell us about the mechanics of that?
Wasn't that long ago actually.
No, it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, so I had a career in industrial relations, working for one of Australia's biggest transport companies, and it was during my parental leave with our 3rd child that I was always still doing work for King Homes on the side in terms of managing social media, updating the website, putting together brochures, all that kind of thing, that I thought this is just, it's too much and something's got to give. And as we're expanding and the business needs me to do more, I can't keep going at this rate. And I probably could have left much sooner in terms of financially, but I think it was a part of me that was like, oh, is this the right move? Do I do this? But I know now I made the right decision.
Was
It
that
wasn't
because
been
there
hard
was
for you.
uncertainty in the business still?
No, it wasn't that. It was uncertainty. I probably could have left much earlier. I think it was just more within myself. I thought,
You did uni and you did all
yeah,
this
is
hard
it something
work
that
at
you're
the
giving
beginning.
up? But also my skills in terms of HR do come in handy when we're doing employment contracts or, we're talking about employment matters within the business. So I feel like I could still provide that value. And I've become involved in a committee with the HIA as well in industrial relations. So that's helped my skills going. But yeah, it was difficult.
It's
at the time.
hard for Veronica to give up her career she worked hard for, she went to uni for, she's done, her whole life, has of work has led up to that point to let go. And on my end, you know, I said like
But
keep doing what you got to
yes.
keep doing what you're doing until
I couldn't do
that
it
point
all.
happens.
Something would have
That's
had to
right.
give. I would have either had to give up everything that I do for King Homes and focus on this, and then but we'd still be in this struggle of not having the flexibility and having 3 young children. But I knew that wouldn't fulfill me as much as the creative side that I get to.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it really sounds like you've landed, you know, you've both landed in a groove that really works.
Yeah, for now,
Yeah.
I think so. I think we're in a good place. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been going good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just thinking about the people that work in the business. So you touched on earlier, Leanne, who's basically a general manager and facilitates accounting, you know, and has
Everything.
that background. So it sounds as though you've been quite open to really looking at who the right bums on the right seats are, and finding good people and putting them on the bus.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, you got to find them and keep them.
Yeah. And in terms of like diversity, do you sort of deliberately head in that direction, or how do you approach that?
Diversity and
So if you're in terms of introducing new faces to the business, do you look for be they men, women, whatever the group is?
we're I think we're more female
Yeah,
dominated.
you have actually, I know this
I think
because I
we-
looked at it the other day, and you've actually got like equal representation, like
Yeah,
at
we
every
had-
level, which
Okay.
we're really proud of.
We
Is that
had more.
intentional or?
Look, I think with you, you've
They
always
do it
just
better.
chosen the best
Yeah.
person for the job.
Tell us more.
no,
No, you've always chosen the best person for the job, and I think
Male or female,
I've
doesn't-
always, from my HR background,
Yep.
given you advice in terms of your recruitment and your positions that you're creating and things like that. So I think it's just kind of naturally evolved that way.
Yeah, it's just like it's who is the best person for that role. Like
Yep.
it's simple as that. And in the culture at King Homes, you just got to fit in as well, you know. And
Yeah, you have a relaxed.
we're like a
culture.
really good mixed netball team. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Everyone's got their positions, and they got to do their job in the netball team to be able to score, and that's what we do.
Is it a really fluid dynamic within the company between men and women?
Oh yeah, everyone gets along.
Yeah.
You
'Cause-
have a very relaxed environment, I think. Yeah, we're very social and.
Probably a little too relaxed. Nah, but everyone gets along. We do some group activities together. We've done axe throwing. I won. That was great. We done go-karting. I also won that too.
Are you a little bit competitive?
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
getting a
You
sense
didn't
of
get
that.
that.
And then we did Pinot and Picasso. That was
Okay.
fun. You
What's
know,
that?
Just painting with
Wine and painting,
painting as a
cork and
group. That
canvas
was
kind of
awesome.
thing, yeah.
And we had another one I was going to do. I can't remember.
But I think it's
that
that social part of the team has really.
So
It-
you
it boosts
invest
morale.
into your company's culture.
Yeah, it's fun. You got everyone's there together all the time. It doesn't hurt to have a fun night
Mm.
together.
Bring everyone together.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Well, we've all got to work together. May as well get along.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's come to the point in our episode where we need to play a little game.
Sure.
Richard,
In front of you on the table there are 3 hammers.
Oh, goodness.
Veronica, why don't you go for the first one?
You want me to pick
one
it up?
And under it, the game's called Under the Hammer.
Okay.
And
Yep.
there's a question there
Yep.
for you to answer.
Do you want me to read it out?
Please.
Yep.
If you weren't in building or design, what career would you choose? My career that I thought I was going to be when I was a child is I really wanted to be on the news. I wanted to be a news reporter. That was my dream. So if I wasn't in building and design, I never met Mark, perhaps I might have pursued that a bit more.
What would be your news segment? What would be the sweet spot?
Oh, I just wanted to do the 6 o'clock news. Yeah, or
Anything
5
else?
o'clock news. Yeah, I wanted to be Jessica Rowe. That was my dream. Yeah.
You're inspired.
yeah.
Veronica the other day got to go to the Channel 9
Yeah,
studios.
yeah, I
She was
did.
very
I
happy.
was, yeah.
dream come true.
It
Dream
was.
come true. Yeah. So
More
that
excited
would've
than the twins.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, grab a hammer.
Name a building design trend you secretly love or hate. Oh. Okay. For some reason, I actually secretly love pink tiles. We have them in our house.
Well, a pink feature tile, like a
yeah,
terrazzo.
pink feature tile. We have.
Okay.
It's
I
like a
don't know.
splashback in a bathroom.
We did
or-
it on the floor.
We did it in
and
a
it's
like a,
Really?
outdoor bathroom near the pool.
painted the ceiling as
yeah,
well,
I
and the
designed
door.
that. Yeah.
I don't know. Just something. I like something sometimes a little bit, like something. Just something different.
Like, we talking hot pink or
Oh, this
soft
is-
pink?
No, these are like a terrazzo,
Terrazzo
pink. They're
pink.
gorgeous.
Terrazzo
yeah.
pink.
But the pink primer.
Yeah.
I painted the laundry door pink primer, like that like that sort of color. It looks
Yeah.
like it's not painted, but
Soft
it's
pink,
like it's
yeah.
awesome. I don't know. That day you asked me a question. I don't know. Just that's pretty
Or-
cool.
Well, we
what,
like honesty on this show. So.
or what trend do you, you
what do I
hate?
hate?
Do you know, we were talking about this the other day of how the pendulum swings, and we're all into the grey and the white and the monochrome.
Yeah.
And then now we're looking at
We
it
used to
like,
hate
oh, we
yellow.
just want to bring
What
more
were we
yellow
thinking?
and beige and wood in. And it's how the pendulum swings in design. And
Yeah.
that you don't want to see any cool light or, yeah.
What do I hate? Oh, painted metallic glass splashbacks, like a glass splashback with a metallic color, like a purple or a turquoise or something.
But glass splashbacks.
Glass splashbacks are gone.
Yeah,
now.
they're not being really used.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate them, but I don't like them. Like when glass splashbacks were a real thing, geez, some funky stuff come out. Remember the printed ones behind
Yes.
the back?
Yeah, I do. And they were a trend for a reason.
Yes,
That one was a
lucky
trend
that
for
was
2
just a trend,
seconds.
yeah.
That was
All
a
right.
terrible one.
Now we've got one more question for you, Veronica. We've got
Sure.
one hammer left, so
Oh, what do I have? All right. What is your top tip for a stress-free site? I would have to say the site has to be clean, and I think that's
Yeah.
something that you always get. That's a top frustration of yours, is when you come to a site that's not clean and tidy. And I think that's super important, because when people are coming in, and signage, my thing is signage. I'm always at you to say you need to put more signs up. It's good branding, and I do think that if people are coming to your site and they think that you're not keeping it to a certain standard, that can affect how people work on your site. Like, I think if people are coming to your site and it's well branded, it's all secure, it's neat, it's tidy, it's been clean. Obviously, sometimes you're just before a clean, so you can't do anything about that. But I think if they feel that your site is well managed, it's clean, it's tidy, it makes for a smoother process, and that people drive by and they check out building sites all the time. And I think that's
Yeah, it's a hard one as a builder, trying to maintain
site cleanliness.
Yeah, and you got a lot of people coming in and out.
Yep.
Tuna cans, mother cans, these things.
Yep.
but it
don't
makes a
like
big
seeing.
difference when you're driving
But
past.
it is nice when it's clean, and
Absolutely.
no matter how many times you sweep the floors as a builder, no matter how many times you do clean up, the next day it's just
I know, but that
dirty again.
presentation's so important.
But you try your best. That's all you can do.
Absolutely. Mark and Veronica King, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
on
for having us.
Made to Build. It's been great to have you. How can people reach out to you? So perhaps with the builder's wife, what's the details
so
there?
Builder's Wife on Instagram and TikTok, and our business is King Homes NSW.
Fantastic. It's been awesome having you on. Owen,
Yeah, great to hear from you guys today.
No worries.
Thank you guys, it's been great.
you.
Really
Thanks,
enjoyed it. Thank you.
that's awesome. That's Made to Build. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Have a good day.